So today was a fairly easy day when it comes to like my my workout schedule. I had it set up for an active recovery day today, coming off of a long Thanksgiving weekend and not really doing any like heavy training over that period of time. I like to kind of ease back into it. For me, it helps me avoid injuries and taking things farther than I should when you're coming back into kind of like your training cycle. So there's a couple things that I think are important for everybody to have, whether it's just for basic health tracking or for those that are looking to get more involved in their personal, like their training for themselves. One of the best ways to truly train is to have some way to track what it is that you're doing, right? The old school way is to write down your workouts inside of like a little journal, take it with you to the gym or your home, your home gym, whatever. Write in your sets and reps, the weight that you did. You can put little notes in there that's like, hey, I felt good, I felt strong today, right? It's like a way to kind of like just keep track of what you're doing. The next is tracking your food. Well, just writing it down on paper doesn't, and then trying to like add it together what you're eating isn't very effective. And then the other part is, how do you actually track like how is your body doing? We can do it based on feel, which works if you're very in tune with your overall body, kind of your day-to-day. How do you feel? Do you hurt? Are you sore? Are you feeling fatigued? Are you feeling right? There's all these other things that you can do that are just kind of like internalized to kind of track the feeling. But 3 things that can make your life so much easier are: 1, using a food tracking app, for example, MyFitness Pal. Okay, it's free, you don't have to pay for it. It's super easy, takes just a couple minutes to log your food for the day. It gives you can kind of customize it a little bit, break it down to the types of protein, carbs, fats that you want. Some of the other nutrients, you got to kind of be a little bit more aware of, but that's not as important if you're just really trying to track your protein, carbs, and fats. And then some type of like fitness tracker watch, Apple Watch, Fitbits, the Chinese knockoffs, something to track just your overall movement, but one that can also be a little bit better at tracking sleep, recovery, daily, calorie burn total, whether it's with active calories plus, just your resting calories, just the calories that your body burns throughout the day. And then some kind of app to build your workouts inside of, and track your workouts. So for example, today was an active recovery day for me. I had it set up for just kind of like dynamic stretching for 10 minutes, which is just kind of like doing like, you know, moving through all planes of motions, nothing crazy, but I decided to kind of switch it out with a 10-minute hit ride on my bike, just to get a little extra burn in. And then I also did a 40-minute steam sauna, which I have just a cheap little Amazon one. So that was my workout today. And then tomorrow is gonna be full body, low volume, high intensity back, so a heavier back day. Having something like this to track what you're doing is great. It lets you, if you're somebody that likes to plan your weeks, like you're very scheduled, you want to know what it is that you're doing, this is an amazing tool. There's tons of apps out there. This is the one that I'm using, that I'm kind of playing with right now as I build out my personal training brand, that I'm going to have, my clients are going to have access to. And it's a way for me to build out their workouts, communicate with them, post videos for different movements that they want to do. They can post their videos to the workouts to show me like how they're doing. It's just, this one is just super intuitive. Obviously the app is, you know, fairly basic when it comes to what the client would actually need, but the desktop version gives me all the tools. I can track, you know, you can link your, if you have an Apple Watch, a Fitbit, a Garmin, you can link it all to your account. If you have MyFitness Pal and a couple other like food tracking things, you can link it to that. So like, you know, I'd be able to see everything, you know, your daily metrics basically. And that kind of helps to kind of continue that ongoing coaching if somebody's looking for that coaching lifestyle, right? But it's very hard to stay consistent and adhere to a program if you don't have ways to truly track what you do. So make your life easy. Find something that you can utilize to the best of your abilities that gives you the guidance that you're looking for. Whether it's, maybe you need to pay somebody for personal training. Maybe you need somebody to kind of hold you accountable because you're not the one that's really willing to make those sacrifices. You're not the one that's, you know, in your mind, you may say, hey, I gotta do better. I need to take control of my health. You know that these types of things exist. You know that there's apps out there that can help you track your food and do all those things, but you haven't built that discipline, right? You haven't really done it yet to really see how intuitive and how great it is. And since I'm talking about the tracking food part right now, 2 weeks ago, I decided to take advantage of really tracking my diet, something that I've not really, like, you know, I don't really do. I haven't really done in a really long time. I just kind of ate based on how I felt. So, but I had some issues where I just didn't feel like I was recovering. I was kind of getting stagnant with my strength. I just, you know, there's a lot that kind of goes into that. I just decided like, hey, you know what? I might as well take the time to track a full day of eating and just kind of see where I'm at. I didn't like, oh, I need to eat this or this or this. I just picked a normal day like I ate and I tracked it. Well, my carbs were super high, my fat was high, and my protein was extremely low. And for most people, your protein is gonna be super low because we're more likely to eat high carb foods than we are high protein foods. And so I knew that I'm eating, you know, 2,700 to 3,000 calories a day. I'm burning about 2,500 calories a day total. So that includes exercise and just my resting calorie burn on average. So I was in like a 300 to 400 plus calorie surplus. So I wasn't really gaining. I kind of gained and then I kind of stopped, and then I've kind of just been hanging out at 235 pounds. And I don't really like being 235 pounds because I'm not, at a certain point you start to feel like super uncomfortable, right? Like your pants fit funny. your shirts start to fit funny. And I'm not somebody that wants to keep buying bigger and bigger and bigger clothes. I already wear an extra large shirt. I already wear like 36 to 38 waist jeans because I do have a big butt and my thighs are big. So, I have to wear a little bit bigger pants so I can actually move in them, or I gotta wear like stretchy clothes. So now that I've been tracking my food for 2 weeks, I've put myself at a 2,000 calorie daily limit. So I'm only eating around 2,000 calories, maybe 2,034, whatever. And so I'm actually now in, most likely, a 500 to 700 calorie deficit, maybe even a little bit lower if you're thinking about the extra, the 300-400 calories that I burn. I don't plan on doing this forever. You don't generally want to be in a calorie deficit for a super long time, but if you have a goal like to drop weight, my goal is to drop around 1 pound to 2 pounds a week, and get back down to like 220. I'd like to see maybe 215. My carbs are super low right now, so we'll kind of judge that like based on energy. I haven't really felt like a drop in energy yet, just because our bodies generally store glycogen or whatever. So you kind of have that ability to stay kind of current for a little while, but eventually you're gonna start to run out of those extra supplies. So once I kind of hit my goal, we will start to maybe increase a little bit of the carbs to kind of get that fullness. One thing you want to be aware of is when you do eat carbs, they're simple and complex. Your complex carbs are what's going to keep you fuller longer. So those are going to be more of like your whole foods and things like that. Your simples are going to be like more of your, just like your refined sugars, things that you're going to really kind of probably like quickly spike your blood sugar levels. So you might get like a burst of energy and then you're going to crash. And so those simple carbs, they're good for like if you're looking for like immediate kind of energy consumption, right? It's not going to take as long for your body to digest those and get those through into your body. Simple carbs are great, but not an ideal source if your goal is to help curb your appetite. Low carb is difficult for a lot of people because, like I said, those carbs are what's going to kind of keep you feeling full, depending on the type of carb that you eat. Also, eating higher protein will also help with your feeling of fullness. There's a reason why when you go out to eat, like let's just say, a restaurant that serves you bread before your meal comes out, the reason why they serve you bread is, and I think it's white bread. The reason why they serve that to you is because it just makes you more hungry. It makes you think that you're more hungry. That's why when your food comes out and you take that first bite of the protein, you got like a 6-7 ounce steak and you can only eat like a quarter of it. It's because you're not actually hungry. You're actually filling yourself up. But those carbs make your brain think that you need more food, even though you don't. And now I have weighed myself this morning, and I weighed myself first thing this morning. So nothing, I hadn't had anything. This was just getting out of bed. I was weighing 231 pounds. And so that would say that I am down a whopping 4 pounds in the last 2 weeks, which is really good. That puts me right at where I want to be, about 2 pounds a week. I've been tracking my food religiously now for 2 weeks. That's to include Thanksgiving in there. I was away from home. I really wasn't doing a whole lot, but I didn't eat a lot on Thanksgiving. I didn't really eat a lot the next few days. Usually I don't eat a lot when I'm not at home anyways, like when I'm on vacation. I just don't have food in my pantry that I can just go and pick off as I want. So actually being away from the house is probably a good thing. And it doesn't mean that just because you're losing weight that you're losing fat. Carbs make you retain water. I drink a lot of water. I was eating a lot of carbs. So now that I've reduced my carbs, I'm probably not retaining as much water. The water is starting to kind of, leave, sweat it out. And So we'll see how this transpires. I told my wife that, you know, we're locked in for the next now 23 days or whatever. So basically till Christmas Eve, because we have a Christmas Eve tradition where my wife and I order Chinese food from a local Chinese joint that we really, really like. And I want that day to be a day that I don't track anything. And I get to just kind of just enjoy my dinner. And, but I want to use the next, you know, 23 days to really see where I can go with this. And I think, you know, if everybody else kind of took this opportunity to say, hey, I'm locking in for the next 23 days, get yourself an early Christmas gift. You don't have to spend, you know, $1,500, $1,800 on one of the super high-end watches. You can spend $100, $60. You just need something to track your steps, something that can help you track your sleep, your recovery, utilize free apps that exist for whether, I'm sure there's free apps out there for tracking workouts, utilize MyFitness Pal to track your food, and start really trying to dial in your health. Don't wait until January 1st or January 2nd or whatever to say, hey, you know, my New Year's resolution is I'm gonna turn a page. I'm gonna be healthier coming into the new year, or starting the new year. I'm gonna start being healthier. Why not go into the new year already developing those habits? If you start today, you're giving yourself at least almost a 30-day head start to start building those habits and holding yourself accountable. You might even encourage other people around you to want to follow suit, right? So don't wait because you think that waiting is somehow magically starting the new year, you're gonna do better. If you're not willing to make the changes right now, what's gonna drive you to make the changes at the beginning of the year? 90% of people who start a New Year's resolution at the beginning of January fail within the first 30 days anyways. Because it takes work, it takes motivation, which the motivation's gonna fade, and then it takes that discipline. Having the discipline to keep driving forward no matter what. And it's the holidays, so why not challenge yourself? You're gonna have a lot of people who are gonna be like, oh, come drink with us, we're having a Christmas party, we're having this, we're having that. One thing that I don't do hardly ever is drink anymore. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy a little bit of tequila, I enjoy good beer, but I don't go out of my way to get it. I'm not somebody that goes to a bar. I barely go to restaurants. If somebody gives me a bottle of tequila, I'll sip on it for a while. But I don't go overboard anymore. I don't like feeling like crap. It also makes you, it makes it harder for you to recover on your hard training days. It's not worth it. So don't fall into thinking that you have to go and indulge in alcohol and things like that to have a good time and enjoy yourself. Use this as a challenge, right? Like use this as your New Year's challenge, that you did something before the new year. You're steps ahead of your friends and family who are sitting there chirping, saying that they're gonna make big changes come the new year. Be the change that you wanna see today. And maybe that'll keep them motivated to want to make those changes. Maybe they don't make it today. Maybe they do start the new year, but because they saw you start earlier, they're going to be more excited to actually stick to it. But the goal is that you have to stick to it, and you have to talk about how awesome it is, because health is awesome. Being physically fit is awesome. You don't have to be a Greek god. You don't have to be a supermodel, right? But it's just being able to do those things that you see some people, you know, they're never going to be able to do it because they just don't take care of themselves. They don't have that drive. They don't care. So those were just 3 things that I think are super important. A way to track your overall fitness, an app to track your workouts, and a way to track your food. That's the easiest way to stay on track and hold yourself accountable as long as you use them. And my little rant of what you should do before the New Year's. Don't be a New Year's resolutionist, be a today-ist and make those changes. And I promise you, your life will be better because you're gonna build habits that also transpire to other areas of your life where you're not always procrastinating and saying that you're gonna tomorrow. Do it today, and I promise you, you'll thank me later. All right, everybody, peace.